All right. So it says we're live over here on the stream yard. The duck is quacking. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I said the duck is quacking. This is in Oregon. But, yeah, I'm really going. See what you got me doing now, Jason? You got me going
I don't know
college
why I said the
football.
duck is quacking. This is in Oregon.
Uh-uh.
Uh oh. Didn't realize I still had that page open. But, yeah, you got me talking college football. Now I'm making Oregon jokes. And you see, it's all your fault. But, since I let the cat out of the bag, our first guest tonight is Mr. Jason Stewart. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for the invite, man. Good to see you guys.
Next, we have Mr. Rob D, the New York Outcast. How are you?
Doing all right. Tired, very tired. Or taxed, or however you want to put it. So had to carry a bunch of shingles up and stage them today. So just got home pretty much right before your show, maybe half hour or so. So
Is it raining up in your area? I know there's rain
yeah, it
going up
just
in New York.
started.
Okay, cool.
Um,
So you weren't
got
climbing
soaked
up
on
a
my
ladder in
second
New York.
load.
So
Oh
you weren't.
yeah, yeah. It's
Oh,
just
you were.
that
Oh
way
man.
I don't have to pick them up a fourth time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
all that shit matters. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but when it's just you, you think about all that. So, yep, everything's all up and staged. And I was soaking wet doing it, but it's
Oh
done.
man.
And now I'm going to have like a 2 day hiatus kind of. And then hopefully weather will be good enough to where I can actually do it.
Now, was it a cold rain or a warm rain? Because in Jason's area, he was saying it was cold.
It was pretty cold, but um, I was cold outside. But after you start huffing shingles around, you get pretty warm, and then covered in sweat with thermals, and then when you stop, you really get cold.
Oh yeah. And then once you let it get you to where you're cold, it is hard to get warm again.
Yeah, I've been working all week, all summer. We don't have any heat where the houses I'm doing, man. Furnaces and gas lines aren't hooked up, and some of the houses there's no front door, there's no back door, no sliding doors, no garage door. Just like all open to whatever the outside weather is,
Yeah,
and it sucks.
but during the summer, if it rains, that's cooling you off. And when it's cold and it rains, that's just making you wish you were dead at that point.
Yeah, like I said,
Your ass off.
it's rained here nonstop today. Rained about 75% of the day yesterday, and it rained most of the day on Friday. Yeah, we ain't seen the sun for a little bit.
Thank God we haven't had that happen here. It's been on the cooler side, but it's been clear. It's supposed to start raining tomorrow, but it's still supposed to be in the 70s, so it's not going to be that cold rain like what you guys were getting.
Cold rain always sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only like 50s here.
I flooded my coffee pot. Didn't put the damn basket in the right place.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
lucky it's
trying to like
fun.
rinse out the
Yeah.
inside part. I gotta mess with the pot.
Yeah, my wife,
Oh man.
my wife and daughter, if they're not paying attention, we have one of those dual Keurigs where has your drip coffee maker and then the standard one that uses the little cups. They'll push the wrong button. They'll go to make a single cup of coffee and they'll hit the button for the drip coffee maker instead of the Keurig cup maker, and we'll have water all over the counter.
yeah, I got one of those like that. I got a switch. You push it over to the side to do the cups, put it over to the other side for the big pot, and if you flip it, all the water will just start pouring out the other side.
Mm. Ours is has a button for the cups and then a button for the carafe, the drip maker. If you're not paying attention, it's real easy to hit the wrong button.
And
G23.
I'm out of laundry detergent. Damn. Just turned out to be one of them days. Got
Uh,
enough to get this load going.
yeah.
Did you see G23's comment?
I was about to say
No, I
he's
can't see the
insisting,
chat.
he's
He,
insisting you're using the bathroom
yeah,
on
that's
your
what
live
I
stream.
thought too earlier. I thought he was in the bathroom.
He stuttered
No.
enough, though I knew what it was, so I didn't.
Yeah, I
I'm
gotta
just going to give him
fill
the
the
benefit of the doubt. You know,
coffee
he's got
pot
that
thing
quarter.
again now.
Yeah, rain all the way go out to Nebraska and maybe beyond that. I mean, that's a big storm band that's going through. The
For
fence dad was talking during budget show about how he was at this shooting event out in Nebraska today, and it was cold and raining there too. So it's like it's stretching at least halfway across the country.
Heard they had a shooting event in New Mexico too.
Mm. Yeah. I'm waiting to see if he gets charged because he can be charged with negligence in that situation. It'll be interesting to see how the prosecutor decides to handle it. Evening Stan. I just saw him
Well,
out there.
yeah, it stands up there.
Um,
I don't know. I'll chime in on that just for a minute, Baldwin, man. I've heard everything about everybody. Oh, there's supposed to be, armorers and prop masters or whatever you want to call them, and this, and you ask and you show and you say this, you say cool guy. How about just plain simple? You don't have a real fucking gun on the movie set, man.
well, all
Why'd it have to
people
be a real one?
people don't understand. They think that they hear prop gun, and they think that all these guns that they're using on movie sets and stuff are plastic or rubber or wood. They're using real guns. It's
Well,
just
I mean, they could, they could, easily like remove the firing pins. Uh,
well, you can't fire the blanks without the firing pin. That's the problem. And
oh, well, they can do the blanks with a computer, man. They don't.
no, not like no. That doesn't. They're not They're not reliable.
Well, anyways, what I was gonna say, when it comes down to it, man, it doesn't. It's just like you or me, man. He had a gun in his hand. He pointed it and he pulled the trigger. I know like I've heard people say, "Oh, it's his job," or this is that. I don't care. That's just how it is. If
Yeah,
you were driving a car, if it was a movie, and you're driving a car for a stunt scene, and you drive the car out of control and run over the camera guy or girl and kill him, that's still on you. You were
right.
driving the car. You can't say like, "Oh, well, I didn't know the car had that much power," or they told me this or that. You were the one behind the wheel. So his guy here was the one behind the gun. I, I mean, I know there's other people to blame for it, but if you want to come up with like a charge of like homicide or something, it's
Yeah,
him, man. It's
it's
him.
negligent. It's negligent homicide is what he could be
Yeah,
charged with.
I know he didn't mean to do it, but like, it's still it's you, man. It's
Yeah,
you. It's sad for everybody. And it's sad for you, and like I know he's a dickhead and everything, but that's just how it is. I don't think he should get to just walk away free from this just because he's rich and a celebrity. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think
I,
there needs to be handled like you would handle anything else.
Yeah,
I
G23 out there saying it was Baldwin's personal firearm. No, it wasn't. He had just been handed that gun by one of the assistant directors who told him the gun wasn't loaded. It was not his personal firearm. That is a rumor. I don't know where that rumor started,
Yeah,
but
there's
no,
gonna,
it was not his personal firearm.
but if I said jump off this bridge, you really can fly, and you do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's on you.
Ultimately, it's his responsibility to make sure that firearm was loaded or not.
I think it'd be his responsibility to make sure whoever's handling the weapons, covering that whole area, is confident.
Yeah,
If he checked the firearm in, it should have been in the in the proper way. So I don't know. Like, I disagree with Jason a little bit. I think for you or me, yeah, oh sure, but we didn't pay a separate entity to make sure it was safe and done proper. So therefore, if me and you did that, it would be our ass 100%. But Same thing with the driving or whatever. If there's a crew there that's setting everything up, and you're marked at 30 here, this and that, and they're on a mic with you, and you're following instructions, and something happens, I think that would fall back to that crew because they're the one that set that up in a sense. Now, again, you and me on the street, it would be directly on us because we didn't have that extra step. And so, therefore, I personally believe the liability falls on whoever, prop master, weapon handler, or whatever. It's sloppy to be out there target shooting at the same places where you could possibly mix something. I don't think that's probably the best practice. But in the end, if he checked the gun into them, when they handed it back for the scene, it should have been in proper condition. Just my opinion. So, but that still falls to him in a way. Maybe not on the fact of him, his mistake shooting her directly, but indirectly, it still falls back to him because he should have known that the person was competent or not competent. With records of people walking off set and all this stuff. Obviously, he probably should have replaced that person or done something. So, in the end, I think, he's probably going to pay for it. That weapons handler probably be the one that's looking at any kind of charges. Just my opinion, but I could be way wrong. But when you pay for a service, like liabilities kind of kicked over to that service.
Yeah, well, then here's the thing there. Here's the thing there, too. You got Alec Baldwin is the producer on this movie as well as the actor. Ultimately, everything that happens on that set as the movie's producer is his responsibility. He's responsible for everything that happens on that set. So even if you want to take away any liability as him being the one to pull the trigger because of property and all that other stuff, like you were just saying, Rob, he still is ultimately the one that's responsible.
Yep, but that'll come down to monetarily usually. So, I mean, that's just the way things go in America. But I don't know. The person that screwed up to the point where the life was taken, they're probably the one that's going to get hit criminal. So criminal negligence, something. I have no idea. But it would be, again, it'd be my guess, but these are rich people. They're famous. For all we know, they'll get taken out for ice cream, slapped on the wrist, and be fine. So I have no idea.
Well, it all depends if the Clintons was involved in this or not, because, like, I heard some stuff about the Clintons could have a connection to the lady's family or something, but maybe after 60 plus, they're getting a little creative, But, maybe she was mad at him for playing Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live and stuff, man, because he every time she's seen it, man, she thought of Trump. She couldn't take it no more, man. She's like, he's got to go, man. She's like, she put the finger across the neck, and just like seen him on TV and just like pointed and did the finger, and her crew went to work.
Yeah, Stan out there, he's got two questions. He wants to know, how did two people end up getting shot, and didn't he see that two people shot? Yes, two people were shot. One was the cinematographer, aka the person in charge of the film crew itself, and the director. From what they're saying now, what happened, the cinematographer was looking through the screen on the camera at where they were setting up a shot or something along those lines. It's still ain't exactly clear on this one, but anyway, she was up a little bit higher. She wasn't exactly standing on the ground, and the director was standing right behind her. So what they're saying happened now is that when Baldwin pulled the trigger, the very hard blank or bullet, whatever came out of the front of that firearm, went through her abdomen, came out her back, and hit him in the clavicle and broke his clavicle.
See, should have used a hollow point. Is anybody brought up what kind of pistol was this? Was this like a Colt Peacemaker?
Most likely,
because it was an old Western.
Yeah, most likely since it was a Western, it would have been.
So if it was a real bullet, it was probably a 45 Colt.
Yeah, 45 Colt or 44-40, depending on what.
If it's real in a real life.
To a neck.
What was that, Rob?
I'm saying I don't think a hollow point would make a difference shooting somebody in the neck. I mean, unless you hit the spine or anything like that in the back, it's not too much there. You know what I mean, as far as hard material. So
Yeah. It's definitely a sad situation when you're way around.
Yeah, there's so many stories so far. It'll take time for the facts to actually come out. What's real facts? We'll see.
I'm just shocked all the actors hung around. I mean, think about it. If you're on a set, rounds are going off accidentally here or there, camera crews are walking out, probably because there was a close call. And
Well,
now, you know,
the union that
you
handles, I don't know if you guys saw the union
like,
that handles the props and everything. They walked off the set
so, I mean,
before
I
this
know
ever
people need
happened.
money, but shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hope they got hazard pay or something.
Yeah, they walked off the set saying that it was an unsafe work environment to begin with. So that's just another level to all this. But
Well, in the end, it's karma too. Don't overlook the power of karma. Dude said a lot of things and ran his mouth about a lot of things. So karma's a bitch, man.
yeah, Moose trying to defend you. He's saying what Jason's saying is if it was a hollow point, that it wouldn't have gone through her abdomen and to end up hitting the guy in the clavicle. That's not true. Depending on how big the woman was, and if you look at the pictures of her, she wasn't a big lady. She wasn't petite, but she wasn't abnormally large either. She was average sized woman, so it could easily, if it didn't hit any bone or anything, gone straight through her and hit the guy in the clavicle, whether it was a hollow point or not. So look at some of the hollow points that Paul Harrell shoots, and they go straight through the meat target in 10, 15, 20 layers deep in the bullet stop.
Sometimes they act funny. I mean, if you have something dense, they tend to open well. But if you don't, it's not. Yeah, they're not 100%. At least from my experience, testing and whatnot.
I heard of Full Metal Jacket before. I'd never heard of a Full Metal Baldwin.
Yeah, but when it comes to hollow points, depending on the caliber and how fast it's moving, it may not hit expansion threshold, and at that point, it's just like shooting a Full Metal Jacket round. You see that a lot with 380 hollow points, where a 380 hollow point won't expand because it doesn't meet the threshold for expansion, and it can happen with 38 hollow points as well.
Well, you ever seen anybody test those double tap ammunitions hollow points? I've seen some of those, and some bitch opens up, looks like a little miniature octopus, man. I mean, it opens up and like the casing stays on it, just peels out, man, like a flower that bloomed or something. It's not like just mushrooming. I mean, that can comes out nasty.
Are they shooting in water or ballistics, Joe?
Yeah, I saw them shooting it in the water.
Yeah. That's gonna be the most perfect, ideal, even pressure to where you probably get something like that. So, obviously, the body's got different pressures. There's different textures. Your muscles, stomach, organs, all that type of stuff. So, it probably isn't gonna work out as perfect, guaranteed.
Yeah, and getting back to the caliber thing, the reason why I brought up the 380 and the 38 special hollow points is because if they're using cowboy action loads, which if they're using 45 Colts, most likely what they're using, they're not traveling any faster than what a 380 or a 38 special, low power 38 special hollow point would be traveling. So even if you're using a hollow point in a 45 Colt, at that point you're most likely not even going to see any expansion, depending on how well the hollow point bullet itself is made. They're just going to act like a standard Full Metal Jacket round, or possibly a hard lead. Yeah, it's not going fast enough.
So you think this just made extremist anti-gunners out of the camera crew and everybody else that was around there?
I don't know, but if I was on
So-
another film right now and we're gonna do scenes, I'd be one of the people up there checking that guy. Even if nobody
Yeah,
else is, I
right.
believe I fucking would be.
Damn right.
Yeah, and remember, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. If you look back at the Brandon Lee
Yeah,
case,
Bruce Lee, I think Brandon.
Brandon Lee, not Bruce, Brandon. Yeah, he
Well,
was
didn't
killed
Bruce
because of a
go the
squid.
same way?
No, Bruce, he had a disease that killed him. But Brandon Lee, he died because the gun that they were shooting that day, it was loaded with blanks, but somebody had been using it, and there was a squib in the barrel, and nobody checked the barrel. And when he pulled the trigger, the pressure from the blank going off pushed the projectile the rest of the way out and into Brandon Lee, and that's what killed him.
Yeah, I'm sure with all the movies and all the things, there's been all kinds of accidents, and any actor that's been a long career and done hundreds of movies and this and that, you've had to been around situations where there was an accident, a close call, something, you know what I mean, or heard of something, from your friends in the movies or something. It should have been something that wasn't overlooked. You know what I mean? They all should have known, just like we all learn, like don't stick your finger in the fire. Don't touch the hot stove on the pan. You know what I mean? They all should have had some type of knowing better, man. But
You guys remember the show Voyagers? I was on back in the '80s about the guy and the kid that were time travelers that would go around setting things right that went wrong, kind of like Quantum Leap
I
before Quantum Leap.
think so.
Well, the guy that starred in that, the reason why the show was canceled is because he accidentally killed himself on a movie set because he put a revolver to his head that was loaded with blanks and pulled the trigger, and the blank round ruptured his temple and killed him instantly.
Dumbass.
Okay. First rule: don't put it up to your head. It's
Wow.
like the Tiger King, man. Don't.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Yeah, that's why I like
You,
know,
you don't
door
even
like
do.
breaching shotguns. You'll get a vented tip on the end of that baby or something because it
That's one.
catches just right.
Even if
Crazy.
even if it's your gun and you're just dry fire or whatever, don't ever put it up against your head. That's not funny. You're not doing a funny joke or look at me or whatever. Just don't ever, ever, ever do that. Ever. You know?
You're just
Toy
asking for
gun.
trouble.
Don't do it with a toy gun. Just don't do that ever, man. That's a dumb one, man. That's like the stupid criminals that do something and get caught. If you accidentally shoot yourself because you were playing around with a gun up to your head like suicide, that's like, whatever. Maybe we're better off without you then. I mean, that's just stupid as hell. I know you're just trying to be funny or this or that, but jeez, use your finger.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say as an adult, yeah, like you just probably saved the planet. A whole bunch of headache, but kid, it would be a tragedy because some kids just don't know, or adult with mental disabilities. But if you're an adult in your right mind, yeah, you shouldn't be pointing a can gun towards your head or your friend's head. You guys seen that video about the guy in the range? He's there about taking a selfie with his friend, and he ends up picking the gun up, pointing it at his friend and shit. Like they ended up throwing him out. But
Oh yeah, I think I did.
like what?
It's like an
like
indoor. It was like an indoor.
yeah, I'd be
race.
like pissed, dude. Like what are you doing? Like
I'll tell you what. A video I saw. It was on YouTube, and when I saw it, I was not only angered and scared at the same time, but just like you feel helpless because you can't reach over and slap somebody. I saw two, let's say, older teenagers, maybe a 20-year-old or whatever. This younger kind of what I'll call punk kids, and the dude ain't got no shirt on, and he puts on a bulletproof vest. I don't know what kind or whatever. and he let his friend shoot him dead in the chest with a 9 millimeter about 6 inches away from him. And oh, he's surprised it went through the vest.
People are
Two
dumbasses.
kid. I mean, yeah, that's the ultimate dumb. I saw that and I was like, that like bothered me for a while after I watched it. Like, God damn it! And just what if that was your kid? He lived. He was up running around the yard. Couldn't speak, running around in pain and everything. Probably crushed his lung for him. But I mean, if that was your own kid and you seen him do something that stupid, you would have to at least slap him half to death. I mean, you know what I mean? You're
There
like,
was that kid
God.
that had his girlfriend shoot him. He was holding a phone book to his chest or whatever. She shot him, I think, with a Desert Eagle 50 cal or something.
Oh yeah,
And
a phone book's
remember
gonna
that
help.
shit? Yeah. Well, I guess it worked when he had it set up on a shelf or whatever. But there's footage of that type of shot, and energy kind of gets absorbed by the shelf and everything as well. So there's a little bit different than just direct into your chest from 10 feet away or whatever it was. So, but yeah, that's just stupid. I mean,
Yeah. Like I tell my
you
kids,
hope to not need armor. You know what I mean? That's
Like I
like I
said,
tell my
man.
it's
kids,
not
man.
something to play with.
My daughter starts talking about something stupid that one of the people in her class said. They're like, never underestimate the power of stupid.
Uh, don't stick your finger in a fan either. In case you people ain't learned that yet.
It's, there's just some stupid people out there.
Yeah, we had our house almost get burnt down, man, and the car got burned up from a stupid kid like that. Uh, Son-in-law was out there. He had to take gas tank off of his little Honda. And he had the gas tank. He had like almost all the gas out, but there was still some. I was telling him, you gotta get all the gas off. It'll be too heavy and slosh and fall when you try to take the tank out and everything. I told him I'd be right with you. Came home, I was just eating my dinner. Just give me 5 minutes. And he went out there doing it himself, and he spilled a whole bunch of gas, and it was like running down the driveway and everything. And one of his friends like got his hands wet with gas and took a cigarette lighter and said, "Hey, watch this." And when his hand was on too much fire, he shook his hand, and then the whole driveway, the car, the side of the house, the porch, everything was on
Oh
fire.
man,
Yeah,
that's horrible, man.
speaking about people killing other people, did you see where they found what's left of the guy that they were looking for in that disappearance of that girl whose body they found? The one that everybody was all talking
Oh
about.
no, you know what?
They
Te-
found.
I want to hear this because I just know the names. I have not a clue of any facts or anything of the story. I keep seeing a little blonde girl's face. I take it, she got murdered or something.
Yeah,
And the boyfriend's the one who was supposed to have done it. That's like all I
yeah.
know.
Well, they found what was left of him in a swamp in Florida.
Oh, so he's not around either.
Nope. They
Oh,
don't. The last I saw, they weren't sure how long he had been dead for.
Yeah, what did they say? What the body condition was? The condition of the
It
body.
was in a swamp, man. That body could have been in any
I heard it
condition.
was
Yeah,
like the swamp had just been they've taken heavier rain than normal, and it just like dissipated or whatever, and that's when they discovered the body. So
yeah,
so
that
did
I'm
body's
he
just
like?
probably
curious
not
if
in
the
very good condition.
gators got him or what the hell happened.
So did
Gators,
they just come?
bugs,
So
birds.
did they come across then like some kind of like serial killer out in the middle of nowhere or something? Or
Don't
I
know.
mean, I mean, what happened? Like,
He was the
was
prime suspect in the murder. So yeah, this adds a new wrinkle to it where they
okay. I
found the
didn't know.
body.
I didn't know he was missing. I thought like they
Yeah,
could
he was
talk to
he
him
was
and
missing. They thought that he had taken off because there was account activity on her bank card in the Florida area after she had disappeared. So they thought that he had taken her bank card and disappeared and went, ran to Florida, and they've been searching for him in this swamp, and they found him dead in the swamp.
so this
And
was probably be an unsolved deal or something.
initially, Jason, the two were going cross country and doing like YouTube videos and stuff like that. I had like an altercation on the way. That was, from what the public knows, the girl was the one that was the aggressor. He had scratch marks, all that stuff. They were separated for a night by the police. And then the next day they reunited after, evening of no stress, whatever, supposedly. Took back off on a road trip and went hiking somewhere. And that's when she went off the radar. And then he showed back up like, I don't know, a week later back in Florida where they initially started from, in her van at his parents' house. And then basically she was reported as missing pretty much at that point. Like, he wasn't saying nothing, but it was reported as missing through the parents saying it up because they kept calling him, his family. Nobody would reply, so they reported it. But, as far as they had, it was a missing case. And then his parents went out on a camping trip, per se, almost instantaneously, and just the parents returned. He did, and they refused to speak to the police from what we were told. So basically, he loaded up. From my take, they loaded up, went out, probably spent an evening together, said their goodbyes, and he went on his way. Because in the past he spent months on his own camping and stuff like that, so he probably thought he stood a chance. But I'm just wondering if he came to the realization and just took himself out, or if nature got him.
Yeah, Ozzy out there saying his parents took the police to the area where he was found.
I solved it already. I heard enough, man.
The parents did it.
Old boy and old girl got into it. Sorta. You're close. Old boy and old girl got into it, man. Dude, Snap did something wrong. He done something to her, right? Okay, what to say? He killed her. So then he takes off, go hide, and girl's family just got some of their own justice. Case solved.
Possibility. But would you be mad at him?
The family? No.
So it'd be interesting to see what the cause of death is.
Was she famous, or was she famous or something, or her family famous or something like? Because it just, that's what I just assumed since it was all over the news. You know how they usually are.
Nah.
It was just an everyday person. They'd only give it like 5 minutes.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. I think she was a blogger, YouTuber. I have no idea what her, she had 100,000 subscribers or what her story is in a sense, or who her parents, they work for NASA or something. I have no idea. No clue what's.
Yeah, I have no idea who the hell she was, or him for that matter. I just know some people were talking about it, and
but we know the other day. We know she was killed though, right? She's not just missing in the.
No, she's dead. They found her body before they found his, but not in the same state. They found them in 2 different states.
That don't look good for him, man. That's all I'm saying. That don't look good for him. They were together. She ends up dead in this state, and he's took off to get back home. It don't add up, man.
No, it didn't look good at all. But really, it's a tragedy for both the families in a sense that, due to one, a few bad decisions, they both families have lost a child. I know one's deemed a murderer, but still, I'm sure their family loved them and wish they made a different choice. And, probably the same with the girl. If this guy was sketchy, they probably wish, they said, avoid that guy years ago. I don't know. You know what I mean? Everybody's probably got regrets and shitty deal. And a lot of people, ripple effect due to a couple of bad decisions.
Yeah, Moose said she was strangled. It could have just been a heat of the moment kind of thing.
Moose said it was suicide.
He said that she was strangled. So they could have gotten into another argument. She could have hit him, and he just snapped. Is a possibility. He may not have been a low life or anything along those lines. I mean, from what I saw, his parents were pretty affluent because he had a nice car and everything too. So
Did they know the Clintons?
I don't know. I can't. I can neither confirm nor deny if they knew the Clintons.
Did they grow up in Arkansas or anything like that?
No
I
idea.
heard she was like OCD kind of, and their initial argument was about the condition of the van. That they were traveling. I don't know how many, driving for days, and the van was getting dirty, and she was getting pissed. And I don't know if he was his turn to clean or something, and he was trying to get out of it. But it's pretty crazy if all this shit started because somebody just didn't want to pick up their damn mess. But when you think back to the beginning, like that's just crazy. That's what I'm saying. Just a few bad decisions can ruin your life. It's just that simple. It's like a snowball effect. So I don't know. It's crazy. But he probably knew she was like that and agreed to a trip, understands he's going to have to, every time they stop, empty the vehicle and wipe things off or whatever. I mean, that's, it's your girlfriend. That's what you signed up for. But at the same point, if that was truly the cause, what a damn shame,
Yep, real quick, I want to welcome Kingpin to the panel. Evening, sir. How are you doing? Did he?
What's happening, boys?
Thought maybe you made another donut run.
No, I was just saying what's up to Stan over in the chat.
So Rob, you think like if they would have had a Febreze stick or something, everything might have turned out okay?
Maybe. Or, I don't know. Maybe if he just cleaned his side of the freaking van or whatever the hell it is, did what he probably agreed to do any goddamn way. So I don't know. I don't want to just blame it on the guy.
Man,
sounds like she's a little nutty to just be beating on people whenever she feels like anyway. So
I'm gonna get a new tree for my mirror first thing in the morning.
That's right. Throw those coffee cups and shit away, man.
See, now I know exactly what happened. Hear me out here. They make up, they get back in the van, they take off from wherever it was they were stopped and held up by the police. They're driving down the highway and they come across this hitchhiker wearing this goofy sack over his head. Like, hey, he looks safe to pick up. Let's pick him up. So they pull over, they pick him up. Next thing you know, he's strangling her in the back seat. And the guy's like, stop, what are you doing? He's like, shut up and keep driving. So he keeps driving. And then he pulls a gun on the guy. He's like, I'm going to do that to you too if you don't take me to Florida right now and take me to this swamp and we go camping together. And next thing you know, they find her dead wherever that was, and they find him dead in Florida. And it was some crazy serial killer wearing a Jason Voorhees potato sack over his head.
I can
totally get a clue where
I totally see that, man. That could happen. It'd be a good movie. Yeah.
That kind of thing has honestly happened before, where somebody will pick up a serial killer, and the killer will kill one person in the car, dump them somewhere, and force the survivors to take them somewhere else, and then end up killing them when they get to their destination. That has happened before.
I don't know, man. If I was ever going to turn into a serial killer, I got a long enough list that I don't even have time to deal with total strangers.
You have to go in with some type of goals in mind. Like if you're looking for a body count, then you're not going to be successful tagging all the people that are on your list. Because after one or two, they're going to be like, yeah, Jason did that stuff. Yeah, he's right there. We got him. So you'd have to randomize it with different types of strangers in order to get the highest body count without getting caught.
This doesn't sound like a good conversation.
No, I mean, I've had these conversations.
I totally agree. But having them online live can be misinterpreted into all types of crazy shit.
Hey, man, I'm like an old man now, man. If I was going to do anything, I'd have done it a long time ago when I was younger.
But think about it. Like, I'm a big fan of the guillotine. But if we're gonna whack a ton of people, I mean, the guillotine is messy. Somebody's got to clean it up. Sooner or later, you got to sharpen the blades. How many are you gonna build?
Oh no, that's the beauty of the guillotine. It didn't have to be sharpened.
Well, I mean, I get it, but when you're crushing through as opposed to slicing through, it's gonna make more of a mess, which means somebody's got to clean it up. And I get it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
you
you
gotta
get the
clean it
next
up,
people in
definitely.
line to clean up. I get that. You know, you make the next people that are gonna get their heads chopped off clean off the ones before.
Well, you just use a high power hose and spray everything down.
Yeah.
Car wash, so
Okay.
everything goes through the grates.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are good options.
So
Yeah.
what if you
Actually, retract that. I'm not in this conversation.
See you later, Rob.
what if you catch COVID, okay, and then you decide to go visit some long lost friends? Uh, you know what I mean? Could they actually like charge you for anything or get you for anything? I mean,
I'm sure that, but they depending on who the person
is
is,
that
they
like
charge you.
attempted murder if you got COVID and then go like breathe on somebody?
But don't
Oh,
give them
you put a mask
ideas.
on,
My
man.
Only if
goodness,
it's
man.
politically
You like that
expedient.
AIDS or HIV thing.
Oh my
You were
god.
around 13 people last month. You're, being charged for attempted murder on 13 people. Gosh.
Yeah, you brought up the AIDS thing, man. I was watching Louder with Crowder earlier this week, and they're talking about Anthony Fauci, and they brought up about the AIDS thing, and then somebody brought up an episode of Captain Planet where the one villain was in the high school whispering rumors about this kid who has AIDS and shit, and about how they're going to catch it if they drink from the water fountain and stuff. You know where all that stuff came from? The idea is that you get it from water fountain or a box of cereal. Stuff. You know where that all came from? Anthony Fauci.
Pinocchio.
He spent lots of time investigating gay bathhouses,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
I'm
that
sure he
way he
did.
could better understand the.
Deep undercover, too.
And he's probably still doing it because he still hasn't found all the information he wanted.
It must have been hard work. Heard a job like that's got a lot of ups and downs.
Mhm.
Probably where he met Barack and Michelle.
Hey, man, a lot of pipes had to be
Tight,
smoked.
shitty situations.
Yeah, but that's what you got Michelle for. She'll gap anything open with that big old thing she's got.
There's a
That was
lot
great.
of pole dancing going on.
Michelle Obama does have a big penis.
Boy, this just got crazy, didn't it?
Oh, it gets crazier. Mentioned it briefly last night during the wrestling show. You're not allowed on YouTube to talk about trannies who sexually molest women anymore. Steven Crowder got a strike for that.
It's crazy. Crime's a crime, man.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
that stuff, I think, should be open to the public or whatever. Shouldn't
Yeah,
be
he was
censored. I mean, get people to stop doing it. You don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, he was literally talking about a story that appeared in the newspaper out in California, I forget which one it was, where an inmate was raped by her transsexual cellmate and got impregnated by him. And YouTube gave him a strike, and their reasoning. I got his page pulled up right now. The reasoning in the letter that they sent him was, where is it now? Here we are. The
Man,
video.
you got me so confused. I'm not sure who did what to who.
Yeah, the video entitled "Special Guest Alex Jones on Great Reset and Joe Rogan Triggers Leftists Again" contains a segment that targets the transgender community as an offensive manner. For example, by indicating that trans people pose a rape threat to women, because he factually talked about a story out of California where a woman was raped by her transsexual cellmate and was impregnated by the transsexual. You can't talk about that shit, according to YouTube.
YouTube whacked Bryson Gray for his "Let's Go Brandon" song. I don't know if you guys know who Bryson Gray is. Bryson Gray is a Christian rapper. so he doesn't curse or talk about profane stuff like that. But he's actually quite popular, and he did a "Let's Go Brandon" song because he doesn't use the F word, so he can't say "fuck Joe Biden." And they gave him a strike and pulled his video down for medical misinformation. in a in a "fuck Joe Biden" video, they hated it so much it's number one on iTunes right now. He beat Adele. This YouTuber with 100,000 subscribers has got more sales on iTunes or downloads or whatever they're called than Adele does.
Probably the song I was
How is it
like showing the
medical?
other day, and the song I thought actually kind of sucked. I mean, as far as like, a good song, it just kind of what I heard sucks. So I don't
There's
know if it
another
was a
one
great
out.
song or not, but
Well,
I've
there's
heard a
two.
lot of other. Okay, I was just
There's a
gonna say I
guy
heard a
named
lot of other stuff that actually sounds good. Like it makes sense.
yeah,
It's um, on the same topics and everything, but it doesn't have the brand and stuff into it. But it's all modern politics. Actually, there's a whole genre of music out there now. I don't know what it's called, but you can find it on Pandora or whatever. All about today's politics in every different type you like, I guess. But the popular one, if it is the one I heard, I just thought song wise it sucked. I get it, it's probably catchy or something, but
well, there's
not
a
very
guy named
talented.
Loza. There's a guy named Loza Alexander that had one that was real popular, last week, and then Bryson Gray put his out, I guess, this week. If you understand it, like Loza Alexander's song came out first, I think, and it got real popular. And that one was more of him just screaming into the mic, "Fuck Joe Biden." And you might not like Bryson Gray either. He's honestly he's not really that good. I just like that his attitude. I like his attitude a lot. He's not scared of nothing. He's gonna say what he wants to say, and if you ban him, so be it. Uh, but he's not really the most talented rapper, though. I will say that.
So I guess you don't have like freedom for artistic talent or anything. Then is that what they're doing when they ban your song like that? I just YouTube or Googled him up and I saw who he was, and that's what they're saying. They banned his song. Uh,
Rob's
Christ, man,
trying.
no
Rob,
more
you trying to
free
give me a
speech.
channel strike, man? Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
What they don't understand is they
No.
ban Bryson gets banned from somewhere like once a month, and every time Twitter bans him, he gets more popular. Every time Facebook bans him, he gets more popular. Every time GunTube.org bans him, he gets more popular. So they got to figure out something because YouTube whacked his video and a million more people saw it.
That's true. I wouldn't even heard of him know who he was if he hadn't got banned and you told me about it. Now I'm gonna go watch it and give him some clicks, some likes.
I agree with a lot of what he says. I do have there's some of the stuff as far as Christianity goes that I'd like to sit down and talk to him about and try to like figure out where he's getting his way of thinking from. But as far as this political stuff, I agree with him pretty much head on. Like he's anti-abortion, or to put it properly, we're pro-life. He don't play with these trannies. You're not a woman, so stop it. You're not a man, stop it. Racism is BS. Just quit that. So that's what I like about him, and he's not afraid to stand on what he believes.
I'm gonna start rapping. I'm gonna put the real word out there too, man. My first song's gonna be Glock sucks, and that's the truth.
You're going to go platinum overnight, Jason.
There's a dude out there named Sam Sun. He's like a white dude with like I think he's got a mullet now. He changes his hair every once in a while, but he's just a regular dude, and he just raps about coronavirus and Dr. Fauci and all that, kind of like Rob was saying, like the popular culture political rap that's going on.
Vanessa's
Some of
okay
it's
now.
good,
Ian and
like
Vanessa.
not just good by the message, but actually good. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, the dude Sam's pretty good. He's talented. He's worth listening to.
Man, we've been through all this shit already. I don't know what the hell else to talk about. we've been just like going through boom, 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 boom. What's going on tonight? It's like we know what we're talking about tonight or something. It's getting scary in here, man. Well, go ahead, Jason. You want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to mention if he was ready for Halloween, and if you get a good crowd of trick or treaters where you live.
No, we don't get anybody here. We live in a that's housing complex, and there's like suburban homes around here, but everybody goes into town to trick or treat. Nobody trick or treats here.
I'm not ready, but we
Yeah,
usually do something.
I got a couple bags a couple weeks ago, and problem is I ate half of one bag myself, so I didn't get enough. Anyways, I was just getting a head start on it, but I got to get several bags or whatever you want to call them this week because I usually have pretty good crowd. We have kids for I don't know hour and a half, pretty steady.
We usually go out. So we've been a meetup place for years. Other kids, family, friends, all that stuff. Usually kind of rendezvous. We've had a pattern down where they can get around and basically fill a bag, and everybody's pretty much happy. So almost like a standard route in a sense. So it's a bit of a walk, but everybody's used to it. So hopefully it's just not too cold. And now some of the kids aren't, they don't have to be carried in a sense. So some of them are, there's the youngest is probably toddler now. So that would actually be going out. So, because that always sucks with younger kids and the costumes these days and actually being warm. So yeah, it's always something. So the lady always gets pretty heavy in Halloween. So I don't know what kind of costume she's going to create this year, but it usually involves half my tools and a bunch of ideas and this and that. So last year she was like 7 feet tall on stilts, everything homemade and everything. So we usually get pretty into it. But no idea what's going to happen behind the ball. And I got to dress up for a wedding the day before Halloween too. So I don't even no idea what the hell to do.
Okay, here's what you do. You go
Try
to the
to get
wedding
out of it.
dressed. You go to the wedding dressed as Dracula. Then you're in a tuxedo, and then you can just like go. You're already ready for the next day too.
Yeah, right.
I got one. Here's a poll question for the panel and for the chat. Do you costume? Like Rob was just talking about, getting ready for A, do you costume taking smaller ones, which include your children, nephews, so don't pick me apart, Rich White, because I didn't mention one single character that you might actually, but do you put a costume on when you take trick or treat, or do you costume party? Like if I invited you over to a house to have a party, would you wear a costume?
Well,
Rich White.
when we used to take the kids trick or treating, I didn't really wear a costume, but when they had our Halloween parties at the school and stuff, I would wear a costume for those if I was like chaperoning or something.
Jason.
I call it a costume. You would say it's not, but pretty much all the time, whenever we had parties or did Halloween parties or anything was supposed to be Halloween, I pretty much throw on like an Ohio State Buckeyes ball hat, a Ohio State Buckeyes shirt, maybe jacket. I got my white, red, and gray Ohio State Nikes, and anybody asks, I just say I'm dressed like a winner.
And so, in other words, you're saying you just treated it like a normal Saturday.
Yeah, other people call that, but I call it my Halloween costume.
Do you costume party? Is that the same thing for your costume party? Is the same as trick or treat?
Yeah, that's I just wear regular. My old lady, man, Halloween was the one kid's birthday, and she just loved Halloween. It was the greatest party of the year, next to New Year's. They all went all out and dressed in different stuff every year, and I wore my T-shirt and my ball hat, man.
All right, Rob. I know you kind of just covered yours, but
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably a 60-40. 60% of the time I'd be dressed up or costume, you'd say. 40% not. Um, yeah, just depending on the situation or whatever. Some years I'm into it, some years I'm not. But as far as parties, definitely. I think like costume parties are awesome. I had one not too long ago with black lights everywhere and shit, like glow sticks. It was cool. Well, it was actually a while ago now, but it was actually a Halloween party. Like we even like dyed vodka with all types of different shit. It was a good night. But I love those costume party deals. Like, I think they're almost better than a regular party.
that's pretty cool. I could see you going all out and having like a cool ass complicated costume too.
Somewhat. I don't get it that crazy. I get in so like I'm in. The lady gets in like she's in for 2 years. So so I don't. She's more of the true costume person. I'm just there.
Is it too soon or too late to get an Alec Baldwin mask?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that'd be a good one.
Now, in Kingpin's line of questioning, Paul Harrell put out a video today talking about whether you should conceal or carry a firearm, whether concealed or open, while taking the kids trick or treating. If What do you think, Jason? Should you or shouldn't you?
If you conceal carry, then you conceal carry, man.
Well, concealed or open carry.
365. I mean, I'm not saying make it part of your costume or nothing, but if you're like in a public place and you carry, keep it concealed or whatever. But I wouldn't disarm myself on a night that's full of a bunch of maniacs on the street. After the kids, get done.
What about you, Rob?
I've always pretty much concealed carry. I can't openly carry or open carry in New York. So if I could, I might, but I wouldn't make it my thing. And if I did so, I would definitely had, at least like a level 2 restraint or something like that, just to be safe. So I know it sounds funny, but Jason says when the kids get done, but the kids are the maniacs around here. So everybody in costume, you never know. People are going around drinking, they're getting high, they're getting free candy. I don't know. I just wouldn't want it to be an easy grab bunched up with a bunch of people on a porch. Not saying it would be, but either way, I want all the advantages I can. So I could use it in a costume, but it wouldn't be like my thing to go around with a sheriff with a low holster and my gun dangling out or something. Just wouldn't be my thing.
So no going dressed as the Lone Ranger for you then.
No.
What about you, Kingpin? I know you don't have that problem, but if you did,
Yeah, just from my perspective, like the house that I live at now, if you felt that you had to carry in this neighborhood, then you probably have a problem. There's, I know people, anything could happen, but you don't need a gun in this neighborhood. to take your kids trick or treating. And with the rules now, kids got to trick or treat like before sundown or something like that. I don't know, some weird rules. Uh, but what I would say is if you have an elaborate costume, I would recommend concealed carry because the gun's going to make your costume look stupid. And why put in all the effort to uh, have such a cool costume to ruin it with a gun belt and a gun open carry? Same thing with concealed carry. If you can conceal it and you feel like it's necessary, do what you got to do. Uh, just don't let it ruin your costume. Or if it's going to ruin your costume, let your wife or husband or somebody carry it for you. Or move into a neighborhood where you don't have to worry about your neighbors, you know, killing you during trick or treat.
Well, we're talking in general, not necessarily just your neighborhood, because there's threats around here other than two legged.
Well, my neighborhood 3 months ago, you better have a gun on you because you're going to get shot for sure.
Oh
Around
boy.
here, coyotes are probably
Oh
more of
yeah.
a threat than the people.
I can tell you, man, the coyotes here with me are, I mean, they've been bad and they've gotten bad over the last, decade, 2 decades. It seems like right now a lot of more people are talking about it. Man, they're out of control here, man. They need some big organized hunts. Everybody's having problems. Everybody's yards full of them sneaking around. Everybody's missing animals. I mean more than normal, and I mean you're seeing them in the daylight, in the early mornings, everywhere. I mean they're thick here, man. I mean they're really out of control. You can hear them as soon as the train goes by. If I was outside, you can take the microphone outside, and you can just hear all the pups screaming and hollering, and they get to packing and hollering, trying to scare rabbits and stuff up out of the brush in the woods. I mean, you're actually kind of like scared to go outside in your own driveway or your yard at night, man.
We're getting black bear down because I live in the middle of suburbia. Like I got a school in my backyard and all that kind of stuff. There's a Walmart right down the street, so we don't really have problem with coyotes and all that kind of stuff. Uh, a little further west from where I'm at, it starts to open up a little bit, and they got a bunch of them up there. But right 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, a minute from where I live at right now, in the past year, there's been 2 bear sightings.
Yeah, I can believe that. We had a bear in Pittsburgh when I lived up there, so I can definitely believe that there would be bears into the area.
My boss's girlfriend woke up one morning and she's got a walkout porch with a glass slider, but it's on ground level. And so she opened her shades or whatever, and staring her in the face is a bear sitting right there on her back porch. And like 2 weeks later, she was cleaning her house, so she had her door open, and I guess she went out front or whatever, so she wasn't in the house. And in the back door, a baby deer walked into her house.
Oh shit! Oh my!
Get out!
Oh, they will, like through your expensive window or something.
Uh-huh.
She was petting it and all kinds of stuff. She's got all kinds of pictures with it. She wanted, obviously, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to keep it." Her boyfriend, my buddy Joe, was like, "You think this thing will kill you and destroy your house and kill itself in the process in about a week?"
Oh yeah, you can't keep a deer in your house.
No.
But deer's been good here too. I've seen I saw pretty, I don't know, just a guessing. I'd say 12, 14 point buck got cracked by a car the other morning. But the hunters have been posting on like Facebook and stuff here right from the very first day a couple weeks ago. They've been taking down some nice trophy deer and buck around here, man. It's been a good hunting season for that matter. I've had a few walk out in front of me, but I got to deal with that 6 months out of the year anyways, not just hunting season. But, deer's been good here. Big. They all look big, healthy.
Went for a ride the other day. 5 days now, 6 days, something like that. Just like a little joyride and stuff with the family up around the back hills and all that stuff. See the color change and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. If you're not familiar or whatever. Some people see it as a thing, I guess, but as when fall hits and all the trees kind of switch over. So it's kind of nice in certain areas, lots of colors and stuff. So nice to go take a peek at or whatever. But basically, driving around and literally could have had 3 deer that were just standing on the side of the road. I'd drive up, stop, and just looking over at them. They're just looking back at you. So lots of deer around here. So usually always is. It seems smart. Like they'll cut in the city limits as soon as hunting starts, or right around people's yards or houses. Like they know you can't hunt there. You know what I mean? So see them all on the side of the road, like almost in packs and shit, bedding down. Be 30 in somebody's yard. You can see from the road. And, I don't know. It's almost like they learn to stay out of the woods or where it's legal to hunt them as soon as hunting season rolls up.
Oh yeah, they know. Like around here, like on the state lands or any of that around here, there's certain woods you can hunt in, certain woods you can't. It doesn't take them long to learn where the bullets don't get fired at them.
Mhm.
And place we used to go down south, huge wilderness land. I mean, not just some woods. I mean, like no houses for 30 miles. You know what I mean? Solid woods. But there's pasture field that's been leased out to cattlemen and stuff. You can't hunt there. And about 2-3 days into deer season, you can drive out there to the pasture fields, and you'll look out, and those little dots in the field won't be cattle; they'll be deer, because they know where they can go and not get shot.
Yeah, around here, developments. I don't know, it was a couple of years ago. I was on the, I can't even remember what was the gun show channel, the gun show called in the morning, Rich?
The early show.
The early, no,
Early
early
watch.
watch. Yeah, early watch. When,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
still do it. They're doing that. They got that going again.
well, for like
Tony
a
and
year or two, Dead Horse
yeah.
and Tony were doing it, and I would join with them. And I was sitting there in the work van at the bottom of this guy's driveway, and just a residential street, right across the residential street, there was like 6 deer just gnawing at this tree and eating the grass and watching me. And there's giant families of deer that lived all throughout this neighborhood. Like they all had different sections, I guess, where they would stay because nobody's gonna hurt them there. I mean, they wouldn't. They'd stand in the middle of the street and let you drive right by them. They weren't afraid of your car or nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we used to have a deer park here, and it was in the city, and it was just full of deer, and you could walk the trails, and they had like feed boxes. You could put money in it and get a handful of it. You could feed the deer; they were tame. They would come right up to you. And it was a pretty popular place. And then they got like overpopulated with deer, and a disease swept in, and they had to come put every one of them deer down. They couldn't save them. They couldn't risk whatever disease it was spreading. They couldn't be hunted. You couldn't eat them or anything. So, like they thought they were doing a good deed and nice and protect these animals, but for them being around too many people, it done something to them, man, and it kind of ended up backfiring and being a disaster.
Well, that's like the credo for any environmentalist. Is we're gonna screw everything up, but we're gonna mean to do well in the process.
Yeah, that's what happened here.
Yeah, that pretty much covers it. And by the way, public service announcement to Mood put out there that there is no closer tonight. Midnight is sick and he has canceled the show. So
Well,
He
Kind
may-
of sick.
hope
I
you
don't
feel
know.
better at midnight.
He was just, didn't he just have the bug, what,
Yeah,
2 months ago?
I don't know how long ago it was.
Yeah, with changing season, change the weather, man. Some
Mm.
people get sick.
Well, bunch of crap. You better suck it up and get this place open. So
I don't know if they're ever gonna get that restaurant open, man.
ain't making no money if you ain't selling, man. That's how it goes.
He's gonna forget how to cook by the time they get it all
Yeah,
done.
right. How do I turn this
You have to
stove
learn
on?
how to cook first.
He'll be looking at the microwave. How do I turn the stove on?
It sounds like he's already got staff and they're, like he's going to work there, but they're not open. Realize you got to build a relationship with your team, all that, get things like that done. But the cost has got to add up. And then making it back, any new place, new business, what is it, like 7 years before you're supposed to break even? They say to expect. And restaurants are like one of the worst there is. So I don't know. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. The shit, I'm trying to give him my money. If he opened up, I would. But I wish him the best. So hopefully he's got something good going on there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got deep pockets. Midnight's like a multi-millionaire. And I really shouldn't be putting this private information out there like that because not a lot of people know that. But he's not sweating for cash. Like he's probably goofing off and stuff like that. So he'll open the store when he's ready to. He's probably just playing.
He's got Hunter Biden money.
Yeah.
He's loaded.
Well, the fence dad said that he heard his pancake game is suffering from lack of practice.
What's up, Bernie? Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. He spent 25 years washing dishes at Waffle House, so he's got to be stacked.
Oh, just off tip money.
Well, tip money meaning the stuff he stole from you when you weren't looking. Like
Little
you
man,
don't leave your jacket in the back when midnight's dishwasher night.
And leftover food.
little man's college is already paid for, man.
My lady's been bugging me about it. She's got on my ass a few times. She actually stopped. I think she's like, just okay, sure. He's gonna open, sure. So
Was she getting on your ass at the Nut Festival? I mean, is that what's going on here?
no.
Anybody looking at any new guns?
No,
I'd like some. But
I've been watching that Canik TP9 SC Elite on Sportsman's Guide. That thing just keeps going down in price. It's down to the 360 now if you're a member of Sportsman's Guide. 380 if you're not, which is cheap.
My dealer's absolutely packed shelves, just like the good old days, man. Except everything I'm interested in is the price is going up, not going down.
yeah, that's my thing. Prices. I mean, honestly, even if prices were normal, I don't know if I'd be interested in buying anything. There's nothing I feel I gotta have. Move out of state, that's going to be a whole other story. But as far as where I'm at, there ain't nothing really. So,
Yeah, I was just in mine this weekend there, and the owner hollered up, "Hey, Jason, did you see the new Berettas I got in?" I was like, "Yeah, I seen them."
Yeah, speaking of Beretta, G23 says he's looking for a Beretta 96D. For those of you who don't know, that's the 40 Smith &
Double
Wesson
action.
version of the 92.
Double action only. That's what the D is. My dealer's got some Uh, the new 92Xs with the red cut for a red dot. He's got two of them there, and I don't know. I probably will, even though I don't need. But that's the only thing affordable that he's got. He's got a Colt Python. That's like $1,600. He's got a Springfield M1A, the nice one with all the goodies on it. What do they call it? The deluxe or competition or something like that. But it's like $2,000. Uh, you just had a few things, man. Everything I looked at was like 1,500 $1,500. I'm kind of limited to like tourist money at the moment.
Yeah, the one of them TX22s.
He had man, I heard somebody said they're hard to find. He must have had 10 of them high point carbines. He's probably got about 20 or 30 AR-15s, but they're so close together I can't see or read what brands they are, but they're pricey ones. But he's just everything I looked at was like too high dollar. He didn't have any 1911s that I want or nothing like that. His Berettas were normal price, but that Colt Python, I sure liked it, but I didn't like the trigger. And that just kind of sucks, man, because I kind of wanted one of them, but I don't want to give $1,600 for it.
And
What is
they're
it that
not
you
worth
like
what
about the
they're
Colt
asking.
Python?
It's gorgeous looking.
Man,
It's built pretty nice. It's nice. I've been wanting a new revolver for a while, and I already got some Smiths. I just like it, man. It looks great. It points great. Feels great. Pull the trigger feels great. Let off the trigger, and the damn trigger resets so hard it might pull your body forward a step, take you out of balance.
I wasn't impressed with it when I was handling one at the Great American Outdoor Show last year. I just like, man, the Rugers and the Smiths were much nicer feeling in my hand than what that
I
Python was.
I like this one. This one, and everywhere on it, like I remembered the problems they used to have, and this one was nice from the muzzle crown to the whole thing, and the trigger pull was okay. I'm sure it needed break in pretty bad, but trigger pull's okay. But the reset is like super duper strong. It's like crazy strong, man, and it's just like, huh? And it's just weird. I just know it's one of them things that you just either have to put up with it or something. And I'd rather have something that like I don't have a disappointment in.
Yeah, the Ruger that they came out with last year, right before, during SHOT Show, and then they had the Great American Outdoor Show. I can't remember what the model of it was, but that was nicer, in my opinion, than what the um, Python was. It had a much nicer trigger. It didn't have that trigger slap like what you're talking about and whatnot. It was just the trigger just felt so much smoother than the Python.
Aren't you really just paying for the name of that name reputation? I mean,
On the
pound for
Python,
pound, the firearm isn't that
yeah,
much better or advanced or
Well,
from my take of it. I mean, it's even a line barrel now with the newer ones. So, it's not all milled out the same thing or the same, it's pieces
well,
put together. I don't know.
the
It
double
seems
barrel
like you're
like
just
that is an advantage.
because I don't know. It just seems like you're paying a lot for a name. Like, if it wasn't famous, the gun might be, I don't know, $1,000. You know what I mean? But now it's,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's
you're
what it
paying a
is.
shitload more.
yeah, you're
It,
definitely paying the Colt tax.
it's $1,000 gun that they're wanting 1,500, 1,600 for. You're right, $1,100.
I can't. I
Any
just
good
can't do that.
revolver, yeah, I mean, you want to pay just a little extra for a good revolver that's going to stay a good revolver. You know what I mean? And you have to treat the revolver a little different. It's you're just not going to find anything that, in my mind, that's a great revolver for like $300. Okay,
Well, no,
you're
no.
going to want to
Yeah,
spend a little bit. So you know, it, it, it's hard to pin. It is falling off its reputation and everything, but I don't know, man. If it had a really super sweet trigger on it, I think it would be worth that 1,500.
we're still talking about the Colt Python, right?
Yeah.
Well,
$500 max. Any more, you're wasting your money.
you're saying, you think it would be worth it if it had a sweet trigger, but couldn't you buy that $1,000 gun, spend $200 and get a sweet trigger?
I wouldn't spend
Yeah.
$1,000 on a Colt Python if it was
So
like my job to go do that. I'd quit.
I'm with you, Kingpin. I'm just,
Like, oh man,
I'm just feeling it
yeah.
out, trying to justify,
Yeah,
see what the
but
difference
Rob,
is.
you
I mean,
you
it
wouldn't
sounds
have
like you're
paid
paying 500 over for
yeah, but
a novelty.
come on, Rob. Let's be honest. You wouldn't pay 1,300 for Kingpin Shadow 2 either. So
Well, actually, that would be much more achievable or possible on my end, to where maybe I got a thing for those guns. I don't know what it is, but it's not that far. I'm not paying 500 extra. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you
you
have a
are.
Shadow 2, you can use a Colt Python as a target.
Well, think about it this
I
way:
believe it.
the standard CZ75, you're going to pay 600 for it. So you're paying $700 more than the standard version.
Yeah, but
For that.
look at the facts. None of those is a 357 Magnum.
No, and
Okay.
I agree.
So
I like that. I like revolvers. I like revolvers a lot. But that Colt Python, in my humble opinion, if you pay more than $500, then you get ripped. That's not a nice gun. I don't like that at all. That's why I'm so surprised when I hear people talk about it so well. I'd like to hear why they think it's such a great gun, because I just can't get with it. Now, like
Because
when you
Rick
guys
looked
talk about the
badass.
686s and the 586s, I know what you're talking about. I'm like, yep, you guys are right. Those are real nice pieces, but this Python thing's garbage.
yeah, it's no Smith. I'll tell you that it's no Smith on the trigger. I think it looks nice. I think it would polish up even prettier. I like that. The vented ribbed barrel on top. I always like that look. Uh, but man, I'm just telling you that the trigger is pretty hideous on it. And that's kind of like the deal breaker. If that had been just a wonderful trigger on it, it'd probably already be in layaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, you can't see the chat. Be careful. Your lady's out there, and G23 is trying to get her to smack you for him. So just keep your head on a swivel.
And I'm not diminishing the.
Come over here smacking me.
I'm not trying to diminish the fact that you like the Colt. You know what I mean? I'd like to hear your perspective on what makes the Colt an interesting gun for you. It's fine that you like it. You have your own choice. For me, I don't get it. So I wasn't trying to like knock you for liking the thing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I like it, Kingpin, but I don't love it. So I'm with you. You know what I mean? And I didn't buy it, so it's not like defending my purchase or nothing. I think it's a good gun, but like I said, that trigger is like the deal killer on it, man. And the price, it's still, even if that was like $1,000 or $1,100, that trigger would still. I mean, you just have to buy the Smith and Wesson over that gun. You just have to.
The way I see it, I just can't afford to be that cool.
Yes. Like the fence dad said,
I
the
don't need to
Python
know.
looks cool and got a following from The Walking Dead. Yeah, the main character on the show carried one. So,
Oh,
and the Call of Duty, and it was featured in the Call of Duty games.
oh, I
So
forgot. I forgot about the Walking Dead. That is an advantage for the Colt Python because it's like one of the only guns you can like hold up above your head, point it down, and shoot people with it.
Mm.
You don't have to aim it. Don't even need sights on it. You just hold it up in the air like that.
I never watched that show, so I couldn't tell you.
I've never even seen a commercial for that show. I've seen like posters and like pictures and stuff, but I've never actually sat down and seen a commercial for that show.
Oh, it was a wonderful show for the first 4 years, 5 years, and then it went.
I wouldn't
That's
even
the
say
show where
that
the
long.
guy had. That's the show where the guy had the baseball bat with the barbed wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Negan. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that was actually a good episode right there, boy.
Matt would talk about that. NEA would talk about the baseball
Oh
bat with the
God.
barbed wire.
Lucille. Yeah.
Yeah. Monday nights when that was on the air, that was all they talked about. It was like, can we talk about something else besides the stupid zombie show, please?
Yeah, well, it was good for the first years. It's kind of sort of like the soap opera thing. You get involved in the characters, and some get killed, some going on to next season, and they were just traveling and working through the beginning of the zombies. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was good when they brought in that Negan dude with the ball bat, but then the next seasons after that, it kind of got bad storytelling. The stories weren't jiving from week to week, and it just got lame. You can only blast so many thousands of zombies, But they had good moments, man. Like there was one season where there was like a whole highway full of zombies, like 1,000 of them in a group, and they took like a guide wire and ran it between two cars and drove down the road like 55 mile an hour and just slaughtered all of them. Man, it was just like chum in the water. That was pretty cool.
Zombies are boring.
I watched it for probably the first season or something like that. I don't know. Up until they made it to the prison.
Yeah,
And then the older guy got killed. And I think the governor was there or something.
the governor,
it
Virgil.
seemed to get real corny right around that part. And that's when I just,
Well, after a
I
few
wasn't
seasons, they
wasting
also
my time.
they ran out of the hot women after the first couple seasons, and the decent women all were suddenly 10 years older. So that show just didn't last.
Well, we know why Jason didn't like the show after the 5th season now. All the women got too old for him.
Yeah, man. Like even the ones, they all left. Most all the characters left. There's one part I haven't even watched it for a few years. I don't know if anybody's left, but it dwindled down to there was only like a couple people from the original season, and it just got. They got into the stuff, man. They had to introduce. They had like 2 gay characters one time
Of
and
course they
stuff.
did.
They had to get into all the social crap. They couldn't just kill zombies.
Did you guys ever watch the Game of Thrones?
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
I saw a commercial for that.
Never seen it.
I've seen a couple commercials for that, but like I never understood why anybody would watch that.
A bunch of incestuous assholes trying to save the world from a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, that sounds like about as good and exciting a show as The Walking Dead. I'll pass.
Oh, I thought it was like an old show, like like King Arthur and the.
Oh yeah, it took place in medieval
Oh,
time,
okay.
but that's essentially what it was. It was a bunch of incestuous assholes trying to figure out how to save the world from an upcoming zombie apocalypse.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Literally, I know zero about the show except for the little midget dude is pretty famous, and he was like the king or something like that. You're kidding me. It was a
No.
zombie. That
No,
Game of Thrones was about zombies.
yeah, the ice wall that they kept talking about coming down.
I
The
have
reason
no
why they
idea
were
what you
trying to
mean.
stop that because if the ice wall came down, they were going to be attacked and overrun by ice zombies.
So it's kind of like King Kong thing. If you open the gate and let the big monkey out, he's gonna kill everybody. But this was just ice and zombies.
Yeah,
He killed
Wow.
everybody but the girl.
Wow, I can't believe that. That's shocking. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like Jason was talking about, more like just some old make believe kingdom stuff going on where
Yeah.
people are battling and stuff.
Yeah, it was a zombie apocalypse wrapped up in King Arthur, essentially, with incest.
Did they have any
Everybody was
dragons,
screwing
man?
their own brother and sister all the time, and mother, and father, whatever, all the time, from what I've heard about that show. So yeah, that's what it was.
Was there a cave with like a fire-breathing dragon or anything
I'm
like
sure there
that?
was a dragon somewhere involved. Like I said, I never watched the show, but hearing people talk about it, yeah, I never had any desire to either.
I bet TV shows and series and all that shit are gonna go downhill even more so if that's a possibility. I mean, in my mind, I don't know if you can go any lower than what's typically on TV nowadays, but you figure all these, people stepping away from work and all this type of stuff. I'm sure it's probably going to bleed over into that too, in a sense. So some of these shows are probably just going to get dumber and dumber. Shittier writers and all that type of stuff, or where they used to have 12, now they got 3, shit like that. It's just, I'm sure TV is going to just really, really be garbage pretty soon here. It's not already.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gunpowder Beauty says there was 3 dragons.
Yeah, I was just about to bring
and
that
she
up.
said the show was batshit crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just guessed about the dragons because I thought it was like medieval stuff. You know what I mean? Fighting for a kingdom against the kingdom next door or whatever.
more like a bunch of infighting and inbreeding. When I say that
Like
they were
Congress.
incestuous, I wasn't joking. That show was incestuous as hell. It's like you hear like if you ever watched Matt show when he was talking about when they would talk about it. This guy was screwing his sister. This woman was screwing her brother. I was like, what the fuck?
Once again, like Congress.
And apparently, just like Congress, it was screwing all the people too, because whoever watched that just wasted all their life.
Yeah. High taxes.
Most all the past couple years, my TV's been on one channel, and then the only time I turn it on, and I leave it on that channel just because it's the only thing really I ever watch. But most of the time when I turn the TV on, I just turn on the DVR and watch Hogan's Heroes or My Classic Car, and then turn the TV back off. Yeah, I haven't turned
Dennis Gage.
my TV on in like 3 days.
You watch Dennis Gage?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he of the handlebar mustache.
Uh-huh.
I spend more time deleting old shows that I recorded that I don't feel like watching, like Pawn Stars and Detroit Muscle and different stuff like that, than I do actually watching TV shows.
My God, I liked it at first, but Pawn Stars is one of them shows I can't wait for them to cancel it.
Oh,
Like,
they're not going to.
on
That's
the
highest
History
rated
Channel.
show.
It's on constantly. They ought to just
I
call
know
it
it
the
is.
Pawn Shop Channel, man. It just wastes your time even going seeing what's on over there because Pawn Stars is on.
Yeah, and the best part is if you ask, I think it was Snob and Gary who said they went to the pawn shop and they said it wasn't even that impressive.
Yeah, you can see the outside of it and see
Yeah.
what it looks like. I mean,
Well, they actually, when they went to SHOT Show, they actually went to the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, and they said it wasn't impressive at all.
well, if you've watched any of the show, you don't really want to buy anything in there because it's marked way the hell up and he paid way the hell low for it.
That's how they make their money.
Plus, I saw most of it's all fake or all of it's fake anyways.
Yeah, you gotta, like, if you want to be on the show before the Covey, you'd have to wait in a certain line to come in. And a lot of times before they edit. I mean, it's a TV show, so they edit through all the stuff to make it look smoother and make it look like, it's a random occurrence and you really don't know how much he's going to offer you for this rare thing. You know, the whole, oh, let me call my buddy and get him down here. Like that guy's standing around back, just waiting to come on stage.
Yeah, I caught on real quick, like the first season or two, because I was watching about all the shows that were on the History Channel, and a lot of the customers and a lot of the people on that pawn shop shows were coming in and like, they were setting the scene like they didn't even know each other or whatever. I'm just the Rick at the pawn store, and this is a customer with a neat item. That was all fake and set up. They know each other like the American Restoration guy, like the Rick Dale guy or whatever. His brother was one of the guys on the first couple seasons that was bringing in stuff like Super Bowl rings or this or that, and he's wanting like some crazy amount of money, like $400,000, and Rick was talking like tough with him and stuff, like, well, that ain't gonna happen, and the other guy, well, what is? And they go at it like he was like standing up to a customer or whatever. It was all fake. That was his buddy's brother. And like the count, Danny from Counting Cars, they were bringing him in, and his friend like Davy Deals, who'd been like a big player, big money. He was like pawning stuff at the pawn shop like he was completely broke and everything. And then about a year later, somebody had a birthday and had a party, and every single one of them guys was all there for this party. And they all started talking like, oh, we first met each other 33 years ago, or I met him the first week I moved to Vegas. And all these guys were wheelers and dealers and players that had known each other for years, but they did skits on the show like they were just customers off the street, total strangers and shit.
Sounds about right.
So all them shows is fake like that, like especially the car buying shows. They all tell you they spent this much money on the car and they didn't. And they tell you these parts cost like $80,000 when they cost like 18,000.
I thought's funny as those damn bachelor or bachelorette, like, it's almost like you're going for a job interview or something. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be one out of 12 guys or something. Like, yeah, that already just, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's weird people actually do that shit, and I don't know, they get married or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I've never watched one, so I can't state. But
They
I've seen
fall in
ads or
love,
commercials,
Rob.
like, huh?
Yeah,
They fall in love, Rob.
Oh,
I
sure,
mean, here you're like
sure.
bad mouthing
Like,
them and shit, like they
what
did it for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. Like, all right, hop through some hoops. Who can hop the highest? Okay.
But yeah, defense that I've been watching that chat the whole time. I've just been ignoring the intestinal tract conversation of dragons out there. So no,
That last message is for Rob.
yeah, well, no, he needs to watch it himself. He'll get himself banned from the channel because I own some of those too. But
Apparently, Smith and Wesson's got some type of shotgun that they just came out with.
oh, that thing's got it on recall. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already the barrel cracks or something.
Mhm.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that M&P shotgun. It's basically like their version of the KSG type shotgun, and they were having their issues with the barrel.
Do
So
they
they
make
recalled
it, or
all of them.
they just put their name on it from somebody else?
I think they actually make it. It's the
Ugh.
first shotgun that they've ever done. So
Well, they better figure out how to build a barrel.
at least in the M&P line, I think Smith Wesson did shotguns like years and years and years ago. So this is the first one that's in the M&P line anyway.
Well, I'm no expert, but I'd say you made the barrel too thin.
No, Bernie got an actual question. He wants to know what we think of old steel frame Tang Folios. Never actually used one. Couldn't tell you. I mean, I've heard good things about them. If you're talking about especially if you're talking about the one that's the CZ clone. So yeah, that's about the best I can tell you.
I got two Tang questions. Well, actually, a Tang statement. Remember around 9/11 when everybody was like getting spied on and stuff like that? Tang was one of the words that would get you on like a watch list because apparently terrorists make bombs out of Tang or something like that.
What?
I'm,
How
I'm
the hell
telling
do
you,
you make a bomb out of an orange drink
The
mix?
orange
I'm telling
drink?
you, dude. There were stories about it. I remember it happening. I don't remember bombs going off, but I remember people talking about like there's something that you use Tang and mix it with this other stuff and it'll explode or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, what's Tang Folio? And
Tanfolio is an Italian company. They
okay,
they
do
do
they
like
make guns?
yeah, they make
Yeah.
it's a firearms company. Yeah,
Okay. And then what's that Taflafler Fledermaus guy that died? You were talking about him when
Cal Fledermaus died.
I don't is that how you I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's something about a tough Lederhosen. Mouse's later that guy. I don't know what his name is.
The shotgun guy? Is that what you're talking about? He did all the videos about shotguns?
Say his name again.
Cal Fledermaus, who used to do
That's
the
that's
videos
the
on
word right
shotguns.
there. That's the word. Some guy involved with that channel died.
Yeah, I heard something about that. I don't know the channel, but they said it wasn't him. It was like his partner on the show.
What, the guy that looked like Barry?
Something they were just saying it was it.
Was a
It
guy
was the
named
other
Dave.
guy. It was the partner guy.
Was
That's
it
how it
Yeah,
I heard.
he's got a couple of different guys he works with. He has one guy who's a cop who
I
has his own channel, and
think
then
this
he
guy
has
was younger, like
this
far
older
too
guy
young. Like
who kind of looks like Barry from Iraq Veteran 88 before he died. So,
was any of them named Dave?
that might have been the
Or what
not
about
Barry guy.
Danny?
Danny. Yeah, Danny.
Yeah.
Danny was the guy that looked like Barry.
Yeah, well, you don't anymore.
Yeah.
well,
Barry's
yeah,
dead too.
yeah, he does. They kind of look alike now.
Yeah, they kind of look even more like now. I thought you were thinking, but that sucks.
Yeah. How do you say that name again? Tough
Taufledermaus. Taufledermaus.
Taufledermaus?
Yeah.
Alright. I don't know.
Yeah. G-Webs doesn't like him too much. I remember him saying something in the one chat about him. So,
Only thing I know about him is I could never say his name.
yeah, he always tests all these crazy, like, different shotgun loads and stuff that people send him. Like these crazy buckshot loads and slugs from Russia and shit.
Pat's out there.
Yeah, Pat's been out there.
Oh, sorry, Pat. Just now seeing you.
Uh-oh.
I think I might have seen one of that guy's videos at one time or another because I came across some guy that seemed foreign and was testing out shotgun rounds. And he was like reading a note. They had like 3 rounds or something that were made by so and so and this and that. And I can remember thinking like, this guy's freaking nuts. Like I don't know, like just testing strange ammo some guy off YouTube or something made up. Like, hell no.
Well, these are actual rounds that they sell in Russia that he's.
Well, they may be, but I don't,
And then there's another guy who's like an engineer over there. He's an actual engineer. He's got a machinist. He sent him copies of his degrees and everything so that he would know that the guy was legit. Who actually will like machine different things for him to try. Like he made one.
What if they're wrong? They thought this was this round, and it turns out to be like DU or some shit or something. Well, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Because he loads them himself. That's how. he
Uh,
he'll send him like the slug, and then he'll load it in the shotgun shell himself. He'll load the round himself, basically. But
yeah.
the one time he machined these they look like giant pellets for a pellet gun, and sent them to him to try out. They did some crazy stuff on there. But, time for Gunpowder to hit the bunker. She said they got a tornado warning in her county.
That's not good.
Yeah, be careful out there, Jess.
Does her place have a root cellar?
No,
She
said
got a
they don't
bunker?
have one. Nope, she said they don't have one.
No basement or nothing?
No, apparently not. She keeps saying no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get off here too. I think we're gonna have a tornado too. Just about as soon as I hit the pillow and just snore the rest of the night.
You're gonna wake up in Oz.
Yeah,
No,
neighbors will wonder like,
just
damn.
so it isn't the prison version of Oz, right? You'll be happy.
Yeah.
I'm on the same wavelength. I'm getting ready to hop off here too.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
been a
well, I guess
long
we
work
can wrap
day.
her up then. Some
Oh,
people can find something else to watch besides midnight if these guys got to get to bed. So, anything you want to say before we get out of here, Jason?
nah, good to hang out with you guys for a little bit. And hope everybody has a good week and everybody take care.
Well, she said half of her house is built into a hill, so it's good on that part. And what about you, Rob?
I just wish them or her luck. Uh, hopefully, it's no big deal. And obviously, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great evening. Eat a salad, do something healthy. And have a great evening, everybody.
Defense Dad says around there, when they hear a tornado warning, everyone goes outside to see if they can see it. He says they may not be the smartest. You might be onto something there, Defense Dad. What about you, Kingpin? Anything you want to add to all this mayhem before we get out of here?
No, have a good night, everybody. Chatelet, MK Joe, Bree.
On that note, we will bid you all adieu for this week, and be sure to check out the shows that are coming up during the course of the week. You got Rick will be having his Wednesday show. Gary will do his Friday show, and then some other people will be throwing stuff up here and there. So keep an eye out for all the good stuff that's going to be put up on the YouTubes and other video networks like Odyssey and Rumble. There's been good stuff put up on both of those places as well. And until next week, have a good night, folks.
Touchdown.
Bar.